'cause I can do it with a broken heart.
Hello, welcome to Shuffling Notes. In this episode, we'll be diving a little deeper into Taylor Swift's new album, The Tortured Poets Department. We have our first impressions already out there, and if you guys haven't seen it, please check it out. So in this video, we'll be diving a little deeper and sort of exploring the album thematically, and just a discussion on what themes I found and what themes were kind of apparent to Prankit. So, Prankit, why don't you?
Yeah, I think one thing I want to mention as well is like the fact that while we're going over these themes, I think neither of us have really followed Taylor Swift's career or history. So I'm sure there might be things or clues in the songs that we're missing that are there. I mean, some of them are kind of more evident that there's something more to it than other tracks. But I guess just keep that in mind. So, I mean, to me, I think what was interesting thematically is that when I initially listened to the album, I was thinking, I mean, it's mainly sort of largely a post-breakup album, right? It's sort of like you've come out of a breakup or you're not completely over it. And that's what most of the tracks are about. But I think when I started paying more attention to the lyrics, what was interesting was it's less to me about just the breakup, but it's more about like how the public perception of kind of like being a celebrity is so like intertwined with her kind of dating life and like how people react to, when she's dating someone new or when she's breaking up. And there's like hints throughout some of the tracks. I think they're more evident in some tracks, like But Daddy, I Love Him. I think that track is very much like, her kind of, I feel like going to the fans and being like, I don't really care what you guys think in a certain sense. I love that person and I'm going to go for it. And then even in like some of the other tracks, like Guilty as Sin, I think there's like a line in there she's thrown like, something around like what people would say if she was to kind of go ahead and like cheat on the guy, like she's fantasizing or whatever. So I thought like that wasn't completely evident to me. I think the song that really made me think about it is I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. And that to me was like this meta commentary on her like being an artist and performing and going through these breakups in the background and writing all these like painful songs, but like she's putting this front up and like, performing live on stage. And that's when like, I think when I heard that song properly, I was like, started going back and I started seeing this theme of like, there's very much this kind of public perception that she's got intertwined in some of the lyrics. I don't know if you had a similar,
So what you just said, it kind of connects back or like takes me back to Eminem's Not Afraid, where he is also sort of doing the same thing, like talking to the fans, like meta commentary on his own artist journey. And there's again like that sort of telling the fans that this is I'm not afraid, right? Like that's the kind of, because for me, like again, like stepping into the theme, I found a lot of emotional resilience like throughout the tracks. There is you come across a heart wrenching breakup maybe, and you have to get over it, you have to get across, and you have to come out strong. That has come out to me very apparently throughout the album, that through in the lyrics especially. Even Daddy, I Love Him, like that has that resilience factor in it, because that there is so much happening, but then Daddy, I Love Him.
You're building a thick skin almost, right? And also interestingly, I think that But Daddy, I Love Him is a quote from The Little Mermaid. Daddy, I love him! I don't know if that's on. I just saw someone point that out earlier online. I think, talking about that, there is a strange kind of humor or meta-awareness, I think, that you kind of touched upon in a lot of the songs. And it's some of it, I think, she brings it out in a way which is more humorous. Like that song, the title of the song, I Can Fix Him, in brackets, no really, I can. And then like the last two lines is like, I can fix him, no really, I can. and then last line is, "Whoa, maybe I can't."
Maybe I
So it's just like you have kind of this sense of humor throughout. I think "Who's Afraid of a Little Old Me" as well, and particularly "I Can Do It with a Broken Heart." I think, you know, she's like, "I'm so depressed, I act like it's my birthday every day. I cry a lot, but I'm so productive. It's an art." So there's like this, you know, silly kind of humor, self-aware humor.
Yeah.
And it feels like it's that point where, you know, I guess as an artist, she's very much aware what maybe the fans might be thinking and what people might be thinking, and she's just kind of going at it. And she's like, "This is what I like to sing about. This is, you know, I like to, you know, I get into relationships which people might not think is the best for me, but you know, it's my life." Anyways, I could be projecting all of that. I don't know that much about Taylor Swift, so this is just what I thought listening to it.
Yeah, there's a, you know, there's a coldness in the album. Like while she's going through the breakups, she's you know, also fighting for the somebody, and she's also sort of these "I don't care" vibes, basically.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, there's the "I don't care." Okay, this is happening, but I don't care. So I think there's, and even poetically, it sort of gives that. Probably, I would say, like, you know, it creatively, this album is has a more expanse than. Well, I can't comment on other albums, but you know, this album specifically, I think, has creative expanse more than the general albums that we get, because they're all, you know, the trajectory isn't just one direction, which is break up and fix it, or fix it and love her, and you know, it just goes like that. While this is break up, loving him, fighting for him, and as you mentioned, there's a commentary in the track names as well. So there's, you know, "I can fix him, but really," but you know, that it just plays around, I think.
Yeah. She's really having fun, I think. Obviously, there's some of the you won't say she's having fun in terms of, if you look at the lyrics of the song, like she feels, you know, she's going through some sort of sad trauma. But it's almost like you get to that point where, you know, you're just like, screw it, and there's like a dark sense of humor about life and the position that you might be in. And it comes out really well, I think, in this album. Like, she'll just throw in a line here and there that'll just, like, you won't notice it if you're just listening to it, but if you're, at least for me, if I'm reading through the lyrics while listening to it, I'm just like, whoa, where did that come from?
True.
Yeah.
There's also this, you know, romantic nostalgia that that comes out in many of the songs, and it's kind of showing the growth from young love that was, and the young love that fought for him. I'm actually just making it up when I was listening to the album. It just kind of struck whenever these few lyrics sort of matched together, and then it's like, oh, she's talking about this across. And that just comes out as I think there's a lot of nostalgia, because a lot of what she describes is not what's happening, it's what has happened.
Yeah.
So that way, yes.
Absolutely. And like, thinking back, you know, your memory is always kind of altering your perception of how things were. And I think that also comes out in a lot of her tracks, where she's kind of thinking back to a relationship. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting album. I'd say, you know, the more I kind of listen to it, the more it's kind of grown on me. I started off with like, okay, it's sort of a soothing, sort of easy to listen album. You know, I did like some of the music, as I think we covered more in the first video. But I think over time, as I kind of kept listening to it, I think, especially some of the tracks I kept going back to, and I felt like there was some deeper stuff I was like uncovering as I was going through it. Awesome.
There is and there's more, you know, something. There's what it's probably just in the name, as in over the years there's been a lot of a mania about Taylor Swift's writing. And this one specifically talking, it kind of is tip of the ankler's hat kind of thing. Like, that you speak of her poetry, or, you speak of her writing skills, and that's what she comes out with is, I mean, I'm not commenting on the music because I can't relate it to her previous albums, but I'm just commenting on the kind of lyrics she's going with, which just kind of, as I've mentioned before, it's like creatively going everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's very interesting to, just listen to it. There's a meta commentary, there's a commentary on the current situation, there's a commentary of what can be, what could be, and there's a lot of things going on. Oh, it's a long album though.
Yeah, it is a long album. It takes a while.
It was
to get
very
through,
interesting.
but-
Yeah, it was very interesting to get into this just off the hook. I mean, it was interesting is the word I would use.
Awesome. I think that sort of about covers it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think probably there's one more video in terms of like the actual tracks, because there's definitely a couple of standouts that I'd want to discuss more. So yeah, guys, stay tuned. We'll have a follow up shortly.
Cheers.
What if the way you hold me is actually what's holding